Steve?
Yes.
Oh, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you applying for the job.
Always.
When's the earliest you could start, Tyler?
Kyler.
Mrs. Anderson?
You can call me Marlene.
Okay, Marlene, we appreciate you applying for the job.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Let's just dive right in.
Boom, go.
What's your availability like?
I'm boycotting daylight savings time, so I'll either be an hour early or an hour late, depending on the seasons.
Tell me a little about yourself.
My mom says I have to get a job, so that's why I'm here, because she wants me to get a job.
Why did you leave your last job?
Of course, Harry, he was, I just felt like he was looking at me in a particular way. Of course, he was blind, so I don't know why I felt that.
Why did you leave your last job, Steve?
Fired. Next question.
So what do you think you bring to the table?
I can read people's energies. Let me read your energy real quick. You're a coyote. Congratulations. I don't run errands, and I don't answer the phone. You know what I do? I look hot. 24 hot. Whatever you need, I can do it. Janitor, CEO, cook, I can do it all. And I have done it all. And I will do it all.
Okay, so you do have experience in all of those areas.
No, but I just believe I can do it. So availability, you know, that's kind of a week-to-week thing for me. You know, I really just kind of like, we'll see. So
what do you consider your weaknesses?
chocolate, candy, Snickers,
Okay.
Reese's Pieces.
Okay. Becky, I think we're done here.
Do I get the job?
All right, Thrive Nation, on today's show, I am fired up to talk about hiring quality people in the cesspool of life. Finding kernels of corn in the vomit of life, the hiring process. And it's as true as it's true. 85% of employees now admit to lying on their resumes. So I have no idea. I'm not sure how that works. If they say, hey, do you lie on your resumes? And there's people being surveyed like, oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure how that works. But according to Gallup, now you have 85% of employees that are lying on their resumes. Inc. magazine reports 85% of employees are lying on their resumes. If you don't believe me, folks, just look it up. 85% of employees are lying on the resumes. That's 85 out of 100 people. 85% of employees are lying on their resumes. Job applicants. That's wild. And then you have 75% of employees today who are stealing from the workplace. They admit, they're saying, well, Mr. Anonymous Surveyor, you caught me. I do steal from the workplace. 75% of employees steal from the workplace. And yet we have to hire people to grow our companies. And so each and every week, I hire people. We have a great team of people. Why? Because I hire the 15% that aren't lying on the resumes. Why? Because I'm hiring the 25% that aren't stealing from the workplace. And here to talk about it today is the tag team duo from Glue and Nails. Super Greg, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful, Clay. Thanks.
Okay, and you want to be a little closer to the mic there. That the microphone needs you. Are you check one, check two. Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, and can you introduce us to your incredible wife here, just so that people out there know you're not a hologram?
This is my fantastic wife, Dawn. You can't see that she's beautiful, but I can.
Okay, so you Greg and Dawn. So every week on Wednesday night at 6:30, you interview candidates that are looking for a job.
We do.
And this week, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you had the sleeper cell who applied for a job. You had a person that actually applied for a job and fell asleep during the interview. Is this an accurate story?
I don't know that he was actually asleep, but close.
What does that mean?
Well, when I said his name, he did respond in a way. Would you say he responded, Dawn?
Yes, but his head was laying on the table.
Yeah. I mean, we did interrupt him. I didn't mean to, but...
And Dawn, if you can put that mic a little bit closer to you. Okay. So, and for the listeners, you can kind of adjust that mic so it's closer to you. You can just kind of move it. Oh, yeah. So now as far as, for you guys do the interview faithfully every week, and we're helping you grow your business, and good things are happening. But I got to ask you, what are the highlights of the lowlights that you've seen on these Wednesday nights? So what are the highlights of the lowlights you've seen on these Wednesday nights as you're hiring people? I shall go first. Greg, you will go second. Don can one up us, okay? And we will go around, because the key to me having a successful business is I hire people that aren't jackasses in a world of jackassery, okay? So let me explain that I had a person apply for a job the other day that their entire line of questioning was about whether I affirmed the fact that they didn't identify with any specific gender. That happened. So they are like what you call like a pangender, pansexual. So I'm trying to find someone to do search engine content writing, okay? To take photos, to do videos, to work in a physical retail shop. For some reason, I don't ask the question on the resume or on the interview process. I don't say, are you pansexual? Great, you're my kind of person. You know, I don't ask that question. So this person comes in. I think it was a dude who was trying to be a lady, or I think but there was like the questioning. I said, well, hey, before I ask you questions about the job, I'd like if you want to ask me any questions that you have about the job. And this person says, are you gender affirming? And I'm going, I don't really know what that means exactly, but how does that relate to your work? To me, inclusiveness is the most important thing. And that was the whole line of questioning that they wanted to go down. At no point did they ask about the hours, the pay, their competency. I've had that. That to me was a highlight of the lowlights. Greg, have you had a highlight of a lowlight?
Yeah, but I think Dawn probably has the best stories because she answers the phone to set up the interviews.
Dawn, tell us.
Yeah, I don't have a car, and like I have to take the bus and then walk for an hour. And do you have a company vehicle?
While they're applying, they're asking you that.
Yeah.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
now we continue. Now, Greg, we had a fascinating situation the other day. We had a guy who showed up at, it was actually yesterday. He showed up at, I believe, 6:40 on Thursday for his Wednesday interview at 6:30. Wednesday. So he had a Wednesday interview at 6:30 scheduled, and he showed up at 6:40 on Thursday. And this line of questioning was incredible. He says to me, is this the day of the interview? And I said, well, the day of the interview was yesterday at 6:30. And he says, this always happens. Now, and I'm thinking, what always happens? Like Thursday always happens? Or Wednesday always happens? Or well, I want to know what always happens. What? So because I have to view life as sort of like a great big comedy to get through the Jackassery. Because again, 75% of employees are stealing from the workplace, and 85% of employees are lying. Or sorry, 85% of employees are lying on the resumes, according to Inc. magazine. 75% of employees are stealing from the workplace. So I said, what do you mean by that? And he says, a lot of times I get confused as to when my interviews are. Could we get a hold of Greg to see if he remembers what time he told me? And I said, do you remember? Because again, this is a day later plus 10 minutes.
You know, oddly enough, a lot of people get confused on what day they're supposed to show up at work after we hire them.
Okay, now
That happens too.
Now,
likely he was actually asked to come to the interview last Wednesday, a week ago. So he
Yes.
might have been upward of 7 days and 10 minutes late.
okay, now let me tell you, I cannot make this story up, but Aaron Antis can verify this story. Okay, you know Aaron Antis, he runs
yes.
Shaw Homes. He's helped Shaw Homes grow from a $16 million company to almost $150 million company. ShawHomes.com, longtime client. And I gave Aaron a gift one night. I called him and I said, Aaron, you are going to love the candidate I sent to you. Because what happens is I do my interviews every Wednesday night at 5:30. And I'll usually interview, there'll be about 25 people that will confirm they're going to come to an interview, okay? And the way it works is I let every candidate ask me questions on a one-on-one basis. I'll do the one-on-one interview with you too. But I book all of the interview times at one time because I know if 25 candidates say they're going to be there, in my world about 4 to 7 show up. Greg, have you seen a different number?
Oh, yes.
What percentage of people, if you have 25 candidates that you've called and said, I love your resume, I can't wait to interview you, Dawn, what percentage of them actually show up? If 25 said, I'm going to be there, how many show up?
On a rarity, last week, 15 confirmed, 14 showed.
So that was a rare thing.
Which is rare.
On an average week, if you have 15 confirmed, how many show up?
7.
Like half for the interview. Now remember, the other guy last night, your guy, he shows up and set up Wednesday at 6:30. He shows up Thursday at 6:40. And his response to, I said, you're here. He does the interview on Wednesday at 6:30. This always happens. And so I'm thinking again, what always happens? He's like, I just struggle sometimes to remember when my interviews are, and oh my gosh, can I call the owner? That's so embarrassing. This happened. And you can tell this is what is normal, okay? So anyway, so I'm doing the interviews, and I noticed there's 2 people during the interview that are holding hands that are wearing witch hats. It's not Halloween. No, I'm being serious. They're wearing bedazzled witch hats. True story. And they appear to be dressed up like women, but they have facial hair. And they're holding hands. And so
I don't see the problem.
No, and I'm doing my interview. And I go, hey, so what has I go to each person, okay? So I go to the person. I said, I'll bring you back. I'd love to interview you. And they go, this person says, well, we're interviewing together because we work together. So think about the profundity of this. They're applying together to have a shared job. So I'm like, okay, whatever. At this point, it's funny. So I bring them back, and I'm going, so looking at one of them. And their name, of course, their name is like Thor, and the Skylar and Thor, So I'm like, so Thor, what has you out looking for a job? Now, Thor has facial hair, but looks like he's trying to be a lady, okay? So Thor's like, well, I just love writing. I work right now. And it was because we're in Oklahoma. It was kind of like a feminine cowboy thing meets witch. And it was like, well,
Who hasn't seen this combination before?
I work right now and there's a store, I guess, off of 15th and Lewis where you could buy like tarot cards and witchcraft stuff, which I'm not into. I'm a Christian, but I work there and I help to channel the spirits. And I felt like this might be a place where my spirit could be, my outer world could connect with the inner. And I'm just like, I don't even know what's happening there. They both got upside down crystals they're wearing. They got the witch hats. And then I go to the other person, we'll call him Skylar. And I'm like, so Skylar, what do you want to do? Well, I'll just do whatever Thor's doing because we work together. And I'm like, is this Step Brothers? Am I being played? Is this a punked episode? And so I continue to ask, well, what hours do you want to work? And their whole thing is, well, we don't really do hours. We're more fluid in that way. So we'll have to just look at it on a week to week basis. So they're telling me that they can't, because when I interview people, I ask them, what hours can you work? Can you work this time to that time? Here's a schedule, whatever. And I thought, there's absolutely nothing good that can come out of this interview. I'm always looking, I'm a positive guy. I'm always looking for the positive thing.
This is the good that's coming out of it
what's
right
the
now.
positive thing that I could get out of this? And so I said, you know what? Cat-like reflexes. I said, you know what? And they go, what is it? You would be perfect for my friend Aaron Antis at Shaw Homes. And so I said, they go, Shaw Homes, we were applying to work for you at Make Your Life Epic. And I said, I know, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but there's something about you two, the whole co-working thing, you are perfect for Shaw Homes. And they light up like, really? So I book a time for them to shadow at Shaw. And I call Aaron and I said, Aaron, boop, 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 boop. Aaron, hey, I've got who somehow I think is going to be a perfect fit for you. And actually, there are 2 people. And he goes, really? 2 people? And so they showed up to a job shadow with Aaron, and that's a true story. So I've got the witch. You had the sleeper cell. We had the guy who says, this always happens when he got the day wrong. You got the interview wrong by almost 25 hours. Any other things you've seen highlights? Because again, 85% of employees lie on resumes now, and 75% admit to stealing from the workplace. Any other recent adventures you've seen there, Greg?
A great example of somebody that lies on their resume. We hired a guy here a little while back that said he had 2 years carpentry experience. And I think it was the next day or 2 days later, we were on a job site. And I said, hey, run over and grab the table saw off the van. And he looked me right in the eye and he said, table saw?
Right. Now, once you hire people, okay, now again, so the first step is you got to do the interview, okay? Next step is you have to go ahead and schedule a time for them to shadow to see if they're a good fit, and that's where you have those epiphanies like that. And on part 2 of today's show, we're going to get into the details and more of the step 1, step 2, the details of hiring people. But I would just say this, I mean this sincerely. We've all got to hire high-quality employees in a world filled with jackassery. I mean, we now know that 75% of employees now admit to stealing from the workplace, and 85% of employees now admit to lying on resumes. So we're in a world where people are no longer anchored to the biblical truth or any type of values, they don't feel bad anymore to lie to get the job or to steal to get the job. There's that part's gone. And so we now have to hire people out of that cesspool of life. We have to look for the kernels of corn in the vomit of life.
Yes.
What are you doing? Well, can you come join me? I'm looking for kernels of corn in the vomit of life. I mean, it doesn't seem like the most exciting thing to picture somebody in a cesspool I'm looking for kernels of corn here in the vomit of life. It doesn't seem like an encouraging word, but it really is, though, once you accept that this is the process. Because if you, Greg, were interviewing each candidate all at different times of the week, your life would be defined by finding people, would it not?
We would never be able to do anything but interview people.
And you, on part 2 of today's show, we're going to get into the details of hiring people. Part 3, we're going to do a testimonial with Ronnie Morales of Morales Construction so people can hear his story. And your company, your fine company, it's called Glue and Nails. What's the website there for people if they want to verify you're real people?
Glueandnails.com.
Glueandnails.com. I'll put a link to it in the description, folks. It's glueandnails.com. And what kind of work do you do if people are listening in the Tulsa, Oklahoma area, northeast Oklahoma? What kind of work do you do? Because you guys are growing quite a bit, but what kind of work do you do?
Home repair, remodeling, room additions.
Okay, so home repair, remodeling, room additions. And we've worked with you for about how long now?
Just over 2 years.
2 years. And have you grown? Are you shrinking? How's it going?
We've grown a lot, yes.
Do you know as a percentage how much you've grown this year versus last year? Do you have that or an idea like 10%, 1%, 20%?
I think it's closer to 85%.
Wow. And again, if you're out there, folks, and you want to know how to hire people, how to grow your business, how to market your business, branding, online ads, the whole thing, we teach those at our 2-day interactive business workshops. And you might be sitting next to Greg and Don and their team where you can ask them more questions. But again, theme of today's interview, before we get into the deep dive on the specifics of the processes of hiring people, 75% of employees now admit to stealing from the workplace. Plus 85% of employees now admit to lying on resumes. Now, I don't have time to talk about this on today's show. I want to, but I don't have time to do it. Last year, we had 2 people that overdosed at the interview.
Nice.
Like I had to call the ambulance, woo, woo, because they literally, foaming at the mouth, overdosed at the interview. True story. So that happened. You know, I'm glad we're kind of past that part. Because what happens once, you think, man, this is crazy. Second time, I'm like, man, this happens all the time.
You're like a veteran now.
This always happens.
You know, I'm actually surprised at the 75 and 85. I'm surprised that those numbers are so low.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And again, but we got to hire great people, and this is how we do it. I'm just giving people facts. It's not negative or positive. It's just the facts. 75% of employees now admit to stealing from the workplace. 85% of employees now admit to lying on resumes. And now in part 2 of today's show, we'll walk you through the specific details of what you need to do to hire high-quality people on the planet Earth.
Brennan, you certainly have had a lot of jobs.
I'm a bit of a spark plug and human resources lady.
It's Pam.
I'm sorry. Well, Pan.
No, my name is Pam.
Are you saying Pan or Pam?
I'm saying Pam. Yeah, I'm sorry. Who's this gentleman sitting behind you?
Hello, Ms. Lady. I'm Dale. I'm Brennan's stepbrother, and I think I might be able to help with the Pan-Pam dilemma.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Pam.
Pam. Oh, no.
Pam.
Panned.
With an
There's
M.
a D on the end.
There's no D. It's Pam.
It's like calm.
Here, it's
Except
P.
P-A-N-M.
M.
N.
Two M's.
M.
That was the confusion.
No, there's just one M. Okay, first of all, I needed someone
Wait,
to
shut your
work
mouth.
this.
Shut your mouth.
I think we've had enough.
Shut for
here.
1 second.
It's only one-
Shut your mouth.
I needed someone
Wait,
to
shut your
work
mouth.
this.
Shut your mouth.
I'm sorry. What did
You're
you
just
say?
coming off stupid.
I'm coming off as stupid. You're wearing tuxedos to a job that requires you to clean bathrooms. Please leave this office. We're done with this interview.
Do we get any sort of souvenir?
Get out of my office!
Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. Presenting the world's only business school without the BS. With optometrist and entrepreneur Dr. Robert Zellner and USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark. Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Yes, sir. It's Z and Clay, broadcasting from the box in the 9.8. Business school and the topic today. Check the syllabus, it's getting you paid. I'm making the business boom, it's what we do. You can do it, let us show you. All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Thrive Time Show on your radio and podcast download. We had a loyal listener that I ran into last week, and this gentleman was explaining to me that he loves the radio show, but he doesn't know how to listen to the podcast. And so
I thought I would take just a second for any of our listeners out there to break it down for you. We have about as many people that download the podcast as we have that listen to the show. So there's estimates that say about 33,000 people listen to the show at any given time, and we have approximately 40,000 downloads. And so you can kind of see, do more people listen on the podcast or do more people listen on the radio show? Either way, because I know that our listeners out there are business owners, and most of these business owners don't spend a whole lot of their time listening to podcasts. A lot of these people are busy running banks, running dentistries, photography companies, whatever. I wanted to break that down. So what you'll do is just go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com, and then you'll click on the podcast button, and then away you go. There'll be a play button there. You can hit that button. You can pause that. You do everything. It's really, Chup. It's really there's a plethora of audio play options once you get to thrivetimeshow.com.
It's a free-for-all audio buffet up there. You can just eat all you want.
Nice. Now, we had a question that came in from a Thriver today, and this question is, he wants to know how to hire somebody. And so I love the question because it is a simple question, but it's actually the kind of show that we're gonna deep dive into everything you would possibly ever want to know about how to hire somebody, because I don't think they teach this at business college. Chup, you went to business school at Oklahoma State University. Did they ever teach you the specific steps of how to hire somebody?
Specifically, no, they did not.
Oh,
they didn't really teach
they
you
didn't.
the specific steps to do anything besides write papers or do silly things that you would hit a deadline, and that was about it. So,
and have you ever thought? You recall? Have you recalled the last time? Have you thought about? Geez, when was the last time you wrote a paper for a business that you've ran? I mean,
I remember just a couple days ago, you assigned that out. You wanted me to write a 20-page report on all of my... No, of course not. It doesn't matter. There's no need to write papers, 30-page papers over whatever theory of management practice that you're learning. It's all about what we're going to get into today.
Okay, so here are the practical steps for hiring somebody. Step number 1, Shep, let's put this on the show notes. You need to schedule a group interview. Our group interview is every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. for all the different companies that we have, we interview people at 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. Every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. What time? 5 p.m. What day? Wednesday. You interview people every day? Yes. So we interview people every single Wednesday at 5. Well, what if they can't come in at 5? Then they can't come. They can come next week. They can come a different week. Every single week at 5 p.m. we do a group interview. And Chuck, could you explain why we do, from your perspective, why we do the group interview every single Wednesday at 5 p.m.?
Yeah, it's a pretty simple concept. Those unicorn employees, those A players, they're not just looking for work when you're looking for new team members. They're looking for work when they're looking for work. They may be fed up with an existing boss. They may have gotten laid off for whatever reason. Whatever's going on in their lives, if they are looking for a job and you're not hiring, you're going to miss out on all those people. So it's just like sales. I always tell my clients, it's just like sales. If you're looking for a deal as soon as you're out of all of your work, it's way too late. It's way too late to find a new deal. So you've got to find those employees as they're looking for work, and then you can build a place within your organization, or straight up tell them, hey, just hired that spot, but you're the first person in my file. As soon as I'm ready, I'll be getting in contact with you.
Every single Wednesday at 5 p.m. you have to do it.
Right.
Okay. So here are the steps to doing the group interview. 1, you need to post that you're now hiring, make a job post, and post that every single week on Indeed and Craigslist. Somebody says, should I post it on social media too? Sure. Somebody says, should I drop off flyers at the local community college? Sure. Somebody says, should I also tell family and friends I'm hiring? Yes. But what I'm saying is you have to do it every single week. Every single week, post on Indeed and Craigslist. Now, the second thing you have to do every single week as it relates to getting people in for the group interview is you're going to need to actually conduct that interview every single Wednesday at 5. So now that you're job posting every single week, you want to actually conduct that interview. Okay, so you need to actually block it off in your calendar. You can't do it some weeks and some weeks not do it. You have to do this, okay? Now, the next little move as it relates to the group interview is no matter what anyone's resume says, always respond with the same email. So when somebody submits their resume, always say, hey, it looks like you might be a good fit. I'll see you this Wednesday at 5 p.m. Now, Chuck, why do we want to say to every single resume, every single time, whether it's accurate or not, hey, You looks like you might be a good fit. I'll see you this Wednesday at 5 p.m.
Right, because the whole point of this process is a multiple filter method to filter out people through the different steps, but it's also to save you time. As the business owner or the manager, the whole goal is to save you as much time as possible, so you're not scheduling 20 hours of interviews for 20 or 30 people. You're scheduling 1 hour every week.
Now again, these are just thoughts I have as I'm explaining how to hire people. I never have and never will, and you should not read resumes until after the group interview. Chuck, this seems like a countercultural idea, but according to Inc. magazine, and we'll put this on the show notes,
right,
85% of people are lying on the resume. 85. So if there's 100 people applying for your job, you get 100 resumes. 85 of those resumes are completely bogus. They're 85 of the 100. I mean, that's crazy. And you think about this. According to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, 75% of employees steal from the workplace. 75%. So if you think about this, 85% of the resumes that you would be reading anyway are crapola. That makes zero sense. So again, no matter what the resume says, even if the resume is mangled and misspelled, because you won't even know, because you're not going to read the resume. If they send you a picture of a cartoon, a hand drawing of their hand, you know how you can like trace the outline of your hand and make a turkey?
That's awesome. I like that movie.
If that's what they send you, they send this to you, gobble, gobble. If that's what they send you as the resume, that's fine. If they take a picture of papyrus that they have used, they've used cuneiform, they've compressed reeds, and they're using ancient hieroglyphics to write, and I know that because I went to college. Ooh. But if they send that to you, that's fine. If they send you a picture of themselves flipping you off, you would say, looks like you're a great fit, because you wouldn't know.
Can't wait to see
because you're not going to read resumes. You don't ever read the resumes. You just say, it looks like you're a good fit. You could be a good fit. I'd like to see you this Wednesday at 5. And someone says, well, what if they can't do it this Wednesday at 5? Well, then they can't do it this week, Well, what if they have a question? No. What if they, no. And that's how you do it, right? So, but there's got to be more. There's not more. Now, the next step is, how do you do the group interview itself? Oh, these are good questions. This is how you do the group interview. By the way, if you don't know how to do it and you live in the Tulsa area or you're in town, a lot of people are flying in for our workshops from all over the world. You might want to plan your trip where you could fly in on like a Wednesday morning or a Tuesday night so you could watch our group interview. But this is how you do the group interview. 1, you go over compensation. Okay, you go over compensation. 2, you go over the expectations of the job. 3, you go over communication, like who people need to report to. If you work here, who's your boss going to be? Who will be your boss if you work here? The org chart. How the organizational chart works. So let's go over the first one. Okay, so communication. You'd say the first one would be like expectations. You'd say, here's the deal. My name's Clay. I own a haircut business called Elephant in the Room, and we operate with excellence, which means that we pride ourselves on being the highest reviewed men's grooming lounge in Oklahoma and in all the other states. And so to do that, we have to have really great people, which is why we're interviewing you. And we have to pay you more because turns out great people want to make more than people that are not doing a good effort. So the question I'd have for you is we move into compensation. So Mr. Workshop attendee, Mr. Group interviewer, Mr. Person attending this work group interview, compensation. What specifically will I pay you? Now, this is a good question. So I'm going to teach you, and I'm going to walk you through it. We're going to pay you this much per hour, and you get this much commission, and you get this much tips, and this is how your check works out. Any questions about compensation and or expectations? Okay. Third, we're going to go into communication. If you work here, if you're going to the South Tulsa store, your boss will be Dan. And Dan got this job not as a result of knowing me, but as a result of working hard. There's no nepotism here. And even if there was a kid of mine or a family member of mine that wanted to work here, they all have to start at the bottom. So Dan is there as a result of his hard work. If you want to work at downtown, your boss would be Wendy. If you want to work in Broken Arrow, your boss would be Jason. And then above all 3 stores is what we call a super boss, the super manager. How come it's such a formal title? The super manager.
He's super.
Jason manages all 3. And then above that, there's Jonathan Kelly. And Jonathan Kelly would only be called if Jason has a freak out moment, which he can't have because he's a super manager. But if he did have one, he would reach John. And if John can't handle it, which should never happen, he calls me. So really, no one should ever call me. But I actually do trainings every single Friday with you guys personally. I'll be training every single person here every single Friday on how to cut hair as well as how to sell products. We have our lead stylist, our master stylist, Cynthia. She conducts hairstyle training every single Friday, and I do sales training every single Friday. That's how that works. Okay. And then every single Monday, we have a manager meeting. What questions do you guys have? And usually they look at me and go, there's one hand that goes up. Because remember, if you had 50 people say, I'm going to be here Wednesday at 5, Chup, what percentage of the candidates actually show up for the group interview?
Maybe 10 to 20 if you're lucky. 10 to 20%.
People who said, I'll for sure be at the interview.
Right.
Only 10 to 20 of those 50 ever show up.
Yeah.
Right. So,
I'd say 5 to 10, actually. So 5 to 10 of those people will probably.
So 10 of the 50 show up.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And then what happens is, of those 10 that show up, maybe only 5 show up on time. So there's like 10 people there, but there's 5 that are already dead to me. Because if you're late for the interview, I don't really have a curiosity as to who you are or why you're late. I just know that if you're late for the job interview, it's not going to work out. And through extreme judgment and the prejudice that I used during my group interview, I have found a great team. So if you're late, regardless of your race, your religion, your creed, if you're late, I'm not interested. Then what I say to you is I say, all right, what questions do you have? And I get questions from numbskulls who are late, but I also get questions from good people. The good people ask me some questions, and it's just an open dialogue where they're really interviewing me the majority of the time. I mean, they're actually asking me questions, and I don't care, no matter what the question is, because I am trying to see if they can think and if they can communicate. And if they can think and communicate, they are in an elite group of people called the kind of people I want to hire, potential employees. Then I say, hey, guys, so that you don't have a skewed perspective of what it's like to work here, I'm going to have you guys shadow me tomorrow. You're going to actually shadow me for an hour of power, me because I'm the boss guy. And then if I like you, I'm going to send you over to the South Tulsa store, and you're going to actually, or Broken Arrow or whatever, and you're actually going to do a demo haircut. Because if you have a license and people, and you say you can cut hair, I'd like to see you cut hair. And I would do this for coders, web developers, photographers, videographers, any position at all. I would have somebody shadow me. And, well, what are you looking for if they shadow you? I don't know. This would be maybe the same. If someone says, how do I know if someone should be a friend? If you like them. If you don't like them, don't hire them. If you do like them, hire them. This is how it works. This is how we do it. Now, Chuck, we have a company out there that we've worked with for a long time that has really built a great team of people. You know, they've gone through this process, and they have found some elite people. And that company is Classic Janitorial. These guys provide great cleaning services for Dr. Zeller & Associates, for Google, for the Thrivetime Show offices,
for Newstar,
for DuPont, and they want to provide janitorial services for you. Chuck, what's their phone number? What's their website?
Their website's theclassicclean.com, theclassicclean.com, or you can call these guys at 918-671-2046, 918-671-2046. They're going to include some high traffic carpet or tile buffing for you included in your cost.
And their phone number, again, is 918-671-2046. Call them during the break, and I'll give you a free copy of my book, Thrive. Stay tuned.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show on Talk Radio 1170. Broadcasting live from the center of the universe. It's Business School Without the BS. Featuring optometrist turned entrepreneur, Dr. Robert Zellner, with USSBA Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. And we had a very simple question that was emailed from a Thriver, but this is the kind of stuff that, Chuck, you went to business school at Oklahoma State University.
I did.
And they don't teach this there.
They don't teach anything that you will remember.
Or that you'll use.
That's what I mean. If you don't use it, you'll remember it.
You spent the majority of your college experience, as did I, writing research papers, paraphrasing books,
team projects,
talk about business ethics. None of that crap matters. Let me tell you what happens for business ethics. If you screw enough people, you go out of business.
True.
That's
and if you let enough people screw you,
you go out of business. So if you don't screw people, then you grow. But these are thoughts. Exactly. But here we go. So we're talking about how to hire people.
That's a whole semester right there in just like 3 minutes.
And by the way, if you did attend the Clay Clark Business College, it would be called a 2-day in-person Thrivetime Show workshop.
That's right.
Because in 2 days, I can teach you what you need to know, and you might spend a year applying it, But in 2 days, you get the whole thing. There it is, bada bing, bada boom. We go from A to Z at the workshop. So here we go. The question is how to hire people. So step one is you have to hold a group interview every single week. Now, again, if you've never seen a group interview, you don't know about a group interview, Google does group interviews. Big tech companies do group interviews. It's not like I'm inventing the concept of a group interview here. It's a better way to go. So just do it. And if you've never seen one, just come out this Wednesday at 5. Email us to info@thrivetimeshow.com. Schedule your reservation at our in-person at our offices. We have about a 20,000 square foot facility there. Just come out to our offices. When you come out to the offices, you can just get there Wednesday at 5 and watch the group interview.
Just sit there and watch.
We've had people do this.
And if you don't believe what Clay's saying here, well, I don't know why you're listening to the show in the first place, but
I think some people do just to antagonize themselves.
But I can tell you what, when I ran a concrete company for almost a decade with my parents, and this system right here would have had the biggest impact immediately on our lives. And I'm not exaggerating. If you don't do this, you will get stuck in a doom loop where your employees hold you hostage. They become entitled. They make demands that are unreasonable. They make you work on their shifts because they don't want to show up, and you can't fire them because you don't have anybody else. And I'm super passionate about it when I work with my clients because I see every single person goes down the same road if you do not do the group interview every single week.
Now, here is why this person is asking this question. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they're growing. They're a client, and they're growing by 231%.
Woo!
I believe, did you look on the complete carpet clean? Is it 260 per 260%?
I want to say it was 262.
Okay, the last time I saw it was 230. But anyway, they're growing over 200%. The average American company is growing by 2.9%. That's the current gross domestic product. That's the current growth rate of our economy.
200-something%, just a little bit more.
It's like 10 times more than the average business. So they're growing, and then that's why they need to hire somebody, because now they need to hire people to keep up with the demand.
Right.
And that's a complete carpet cleaning, I believe.
Yep.
Okay.
CompleteCarpetTulsa.com.
So we have a Thriver inside the studio today, and this guy has actually bought a tip-top canine business location. And the company is doing great. I mean, he's out there in Owasso. He's growing all the time. Thank you, Tulsa, by the way, for supporting Adam and his newest business location there in Owasso. And so I want to get Adam's take on a few things here. Adam, when you opened up your Tip Top location out there in Owasso, was it a little bit scary for you opening your own business? I mean, you had to buy all that crap. I mean, you had to buy probably $15,000, $18,000 of crap. You had to auto wrap your car. You had to buy leashes. You had to invest in 200 hours of training. Was it a scary thing for you?
Absolutely scary. It was like one of the scariest things I've done probably ever as far as work or business or anything like that.
Are you a married guy? For the folks out there that don't know you, are you a married guy?
I am married.
How long have you been married?
6 years now.
Do you have a death wish? Did you want that marriage to end terribly, or why did you go out there and want to start a business? What did you talk to her about it first? I mean, tell us about what was going on in your household in the moments leading up to starting the company.
Well, it looked like a opportunity that I would be foolish not to at least give a shot. I mean, why not? I'm good with dogs, good with people.
How did you hear about a Tip Top Canine?
Ryan actually trained 3 of my dogs back in, I think it was 2007 or 2008, I think.
So the founder of the company sowed the seeds by doing a good job for you in 2007.
Yes.
Now, I was just thinking about, a lot of things. I've got very, very metaphysical. I was thinking super deep about a lot of things. The one thing I thought about, Chip, it is not 2007.
It's not.
It is not. It's 2018 now.
It's like 11 years ago.
It's like 11 years ago. So you met the guy 11 years ago. Anyway, how did you decide that the business model made sense? When did that idea occur to you?
Well, Ryan actually contacted me to get in touch with some rescues because me and my wife have connections because we actually ran rescue ourselves.
Animal rescues?
Yeah, dog rescues.
Okay.
So we had connections with some rescues in town, and he was actually looking for a place to be able to train new trainers.
So he reached out to you to find a new place to train new trainers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you knew, okay, this might be a thing?
You said, I might be a new trainer.
Yeah, he was like, hey, what are you doing career-wise right now? And I said, well, I'm going to school, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I was going to school to get my certified veterinary assistant, or my veterinary.
Where were you going?
I was going to San Juan College.
San Juan?
Most of it was online.
Juan?
I was just transferring to TCC to finish out the program there.
Nice. Okay, so very, very bicultural of you to go to San Juan.
San Juan.
So you're going to San Juan University. Now, so you decided to start your own business. Now you're how many weeks into owning your own business? Is it 11 weeks, 400 weeks, 9 weeks? How many weeks approximately?
We started February 5th was the first day official. So was that like
10 or 11 weeks?
10 weeks, yeah. 11 weeks.
So what are your average sales per week now, roughly? I mean, at this point.
They're right about $8,000.
So if you did $8,000 a week of sales every week, now there's 52 weeks. And correct me if I'm wrong. In a typical week, I mean, would you go out on a limb and say in a typical week we have about 50, or typical year we have about 52 weeks? I mean,
there's right in 48 to 54, right in there in that range.
There's
somewhere.
research to show that the average week has 7 days, and so I was doing the research on it. Chip, where do we find our research team? I mean, this is amazing.
But if you take those 52 weeks at $8,000, that's $416,000.
Or that'd be $1,142 a day.
There you go.
And so if you took 85% of that, which is I think what you get to keep 85% of that approximately. So you keep 85%. Now you have expenses, but so that's basically $971 a day that you get to spend on whatever you want to spend on, and then obviously pay your expenses out of it and that kind of thing. And so, but now that you're growing, have you gotten to a place where you maybe are selling so much that you're probably going to need to hire somebody soon? Are you there?
I already did.
You already hired your first guy?
Yeah.
What?
Which is a great segue into our next segment as we talk about how to hire somebody.
Woo-hoo.
How to hire somebody. If you're growing so fast, you need to hire somebody. That's a great thing, but you can really screw up your business if you hire a moron. And most people are freaking idiots. So if you go out there and you hire a moron or a freaking idiot or a person whose mind doesn't work or somebody who's got Novocaine in the brain, you're going to fail.
My name is Robert Redmond. I actually first met Clay almost 3 years ago to the day. I don't know if he remembers it or not, but I wasn't working with him at the time. I asked to see him and just ask him some questions to help, direct my life, to get some mentorship. But I've been working with Clay for now just over a year. The role I play here is a business coach, business consultant. I work with different businesses, implementing best practice processes and systems that I have learned here by working with Clay. And the experience working here has, to put it real plainly, has been just life-changing. I have not only learned new things and have gained new knowledge, but I have gained a whole new mindset that I believe wherever I end up will serve me well throughout the rest of my life. Since working with Clay, I have learned so much. I mean, I would like to say almost everything about business in terms of the different categories. I haven't learned it all, but I've learned all about marketing. I've learned about advertising. I've learned about branding. I've learned how to create a sales process for organizations in any industry. I've learned how to sell. I've learned how to create repeatable systems and processes and hold people accountable. How to hire people. It's almost like every aspect of a business you can learn. I have learned a lot in those different categories. And then, again, the mindset that I've gained here has been huge. Working here, you can't be a mediocre person. You are called to a higher standard of excellence. And then as you're called to that standard here, you begin to see those outcomes in every area of your life. That standard of excellence that you want to implement no matter what you're involved in. I would like to describe the other people that work with Clay are people that are going somewhere with their life. Marshall in the group interview talks about how the best fits for this organization are the people that are goal-oriented. So they're on their own trajectory, and we're on our own trajectory. And the best fits are those people where there can be a mutually beneficial relationship, that as we pursue our goals and we help the business pursue those goals, the business helps us pursue our goals as well. And so I'd say people that are driven, people that want to make something of their lives, people that are goal-oriented, they're focused, and they're committed to overcoming any adversity that may come their way. Clay's passion for helping business owners grow their businesses it's unique in that I don't know if there's anyone else that can be as passionate. Whenever a business starts working with Clay, it's almost as like Clay is running that business in the sense that he has something at stake. He's just serving them. They're one of his clients, but it's as if he is actively involved in the business. Whenever they have a win, he's posting it all over his social media. He's shouting it across the room here at Thrive. He's sending people encouraging messages. He can kind of be that life coach and business coach in terms of being that a motivator and that champion for people's businesses. It's again unique because there's no one else I've seen get so excited about and passionate about other people's businesses. The kind of people that wouldn't like working with Clay are people that are satisfied with mediocrity. People that want to get through life by just doing enough, by just getting by. People who are not looking to develop themselves, people who are not coachable, people who think that they know it all and they're unwilling to change. I would say those are the type of people. In short, anyone that's content with mediocrity would not like working with Clay. So if you're meeting Clay for the first time, the advice I'd give you is definitely come ready to take tons of notes. Every time Clay speaks, he gives you a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to miss. I remember the first time that I met Clay. I literally carried a notebook with me all around. I was looking at this notebook the other day, actually. I carried a notebook with me all around, and I just took tons of notes. I filled the entire notebook in about 3 or 4 months, just from being around Clay, following him, and learning from him. And then I would say, come coachable. Be open to learning something new. Be open to challenging yourself. Be open to learning and adjusting parts about you that need to be adjusted.
If we go back 8 years ago, think about the number of clients you had back then versus the number of clients you have now. As a percentage, what has been the growth over the past 8 years, do you think? We got to inspire somebody out there who just doesn't have the time to listen to their calls.
Okay, so Clay, it's like I would go up and down from about $10,000 a month up to about $40,000, but it's up and down roller coaster. And so now we've got it to where we're in excess of 100 clients.
That's awesome.
And so I would have anywhere from 5 clients to 20 clients on my own with networking, but I had no control over it. I didn't, without the systems, you're going to be victimized by your own business.
For somebody out there who struggles with math, if you, let's say that your average number of clients was 30 and you go to 100, as a percentage, what is that?
I have doubled every year since working with you. So I've doubled in clients, I've doubled in revenue every year. It's 100% growth every year I've worked with. Now, so I'm looking, we've been good friends 7-8 years, and I've got doubled 5 times.
Which is just incredible. I mean, the first time you do it, that's one thing, but when you do it repeatedly, I mean, that's unbelievable.
We're working our Blessed Assurance off this year to double. We're planning on doubling again. We're incorporating some new things in there to really help us do it, but we are going to double again this year. I started coaching, but it would go up and down, Clay. That's when I came to you, as I was going up and down, and I wanted to go up and up instead of up and down. And so that's when it needed a system. So creating a system is you have nailed down specific steps that you're going to take no matter how you feel, no matter the results. You lean into them and you do them regardless of what's happening. You lean into them, and it will give you X number of leads. You follow up with those leads, turns into sales. Well, I tell you, it's if you don't have a script and you don't have a system, then every day is a whole new creation. You're creating a lot of energy just to figure out what are you going to do.
Right.
And the best executives, Peter Drucker is a father of modern management. He said, the most effective executives make one decision a year. What you do is you make a decision, what is your system, and then you work like the dickens to make sure you follow that system. And so that's really what it's all about. So with a script here, we have a brand new gal that just came in working for us. She nailed down the script, and she's been nailing down appointments. Usually we try to get one appointment for every 100 calls. We make 200 to 300 calls a day per rep.
Right.
And she's been nailing down 5 and 8 appointments a day.
Somebody out there's having a hard time.
That script.
So she's making how many calls a day?
She's making between 200 and 300 calls a day.
Whoa. And our relationship is weird in that we do. If someone were to buy an Apple computer today, and or let's say you bought a personal computer, a PC, the computer is made by, let's say, Dell, but then the software in the computer would be Microsoft, let's say, or Adobe or whatever that is. So I basically make the systems. And you're like the computer, and I'm like the software. It's kind of how I would describe our relationship. Yeah. Tim, I want to ask you this. You and I reconnected. I think it was in the year 2000 and what was it? Maybe 2010. Is that right? 2011, maybe, or no, maybe further down the road. Maybe 2013.
2012.
Okay, so 2012, and at that time I was 5 years removed from the DJ business, and you were how many years removed from tax and accounting software?
It was about 10, 11 years.
We met, how did we re-meet? What was the first interaction? There was some interaction where you and I first connected. I just remember that somehow you and I went to Hideaway Pizza. But do you remember when we first reconnected?
Yeah. Well, we had that speaking thing that...
there it was. So it was Victory Christian Center. I was speaking there. Well, Thrive Nation, we have an opportunity all the time. We have so many wonderful people that go to thrivetimeshow.com, and they reach out to us to schedule a 13-point assessment. We also have a lot of people that go to thrivetimeshow.com and they schedule a free 13-point assessment, and they're not a good fit because I only work with diligent doers. I only work with people that are willing to actually implement the proven systems that Dr. Zellner and I both teach and implement in our own companies. So people say, I do want to grow my business 7 times faster. I do want to reduce my working hours. I do want to increase my time freedom and my profits. I think we're all in agreement that that's a good thing. However, we can only help people that are willing to put the work in. And on today's show, we're joined by a man by the name of Ronnie Morales. His company is moralesbrothers.net. I hold him in high regard because he and his family-owned business, they actually are growing. I would call it dramatically. When you look at this, Inc. magazine right now shows that 96% of businesses fail. Inc. magazine says 96% of businesses fail. That's not good. Whereas this guy's business isn't growing by 10%, it isn't growing by 20%. It is growing dramatically. But again, if Ronnie Morales had filled out the form and had scheduled a consultation and wasn't willing to actually implement what we were teaching, it would all be for naught. So I'm excited for you to meet somebody who I would consider to be a diligent doer. He's based in Richmond, Texas. And now, without any further ado, Ronnie Morales, welcome onto the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks, Clay.
Hey, so how did you first hear about us? How did you hear about the Thrivetime Show?
I listened to your Thrivetime Show podcast for those 7 years, and I was learning so much. I was like, man, I got to give this guy a try.
So you listened to our podcast 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Really?
7 years.
Do you remember the first podcast you listened to 7 years ago?
I don't remember. I listened to so many of them.
Okay.
I listened to, more than once.
Now, when you're listening to the podcast, I try to feature clients on the show so that there's real people really doing it, really implementing the systems. When did it occur to you that you might want to, go ahead and fill out the form at thrivetimeshow.com and schedule a consultation?
I got to the point where I just needed to take the next step. And I've been in coaching before, like group coaching and different things like that. But I just felt like everybody on your show was making tremendous changes in their business. And coming from you and Dr. Z, I felt like y'all had the experience. And it didn't matter if it was, because I've been used to doing construction, like peer groups and construction coaching, where it's contractors only. Well, I felt like, you know what? I need somebody business minded to help me grow this. I don't necessarily need a group of just contractors. I needed somebody that knows the business part of it.
And what kind of growth have you had since you began working with us as far as a percentage? Do you know a percentage or what kind of growth?
Yeah, so we had about a 57% increase from last year's first quarter to this year's first quarter. So that was huge for us. and personal growth too. I honestly, just as a business leader and team member here in my company, I've grown a lot to be a better leader, learn how to delegate better, learn how to get these 15-minute huddles started every morning. And it's just been great. I'm just continue to learn, and I can't wait to keep moving forward.
Well, people always ask me, they say, what's the most important part of business consulting? And that would be, to me, like asking a baker, what's the most important ingredient in a cookie? I mean, is it the flour? Is it the sugar? Is it the eggs? I would say if you take out any one of those core ingredients, you're going to have a weird tasting cookie. So in our business consulting, we focus on marketing, branding, sales, hiring, leadership, management, accounting, all of those things. So let's kind of go through the process from just a branding perspective and a marketing perspective. How has the business consulting impacted your company?
No, it's been great. The branding, the marketing. I mean, people around town are telling us, "Hey, I've seen your trucks here and there. I see you all over the place." When people are searching Google or whatever it is, they're finding our videos and they're reaching out to us. I think one of the biggest parts with business coaching for me has been the accountability. Like just having somebody to tell me, like, "Hey, get this, and this done, and have it done by this day," and we move on to the next step. So I mean, it's been great.
Now we have a weekly meeting. The purpose of a weekly meeting is so that you have a week to get your homework done. We have a week to do our homework. I mean, we do photography, videography, web development, search engine optimization, and you and I meet on Saturdays at 6:30 a.m. I find a lot of my clients like to meet in the mornings. How important is it to have that weekly meeting? Because I'm 42, but when I was 21, I was hiring business consulting programs that would do quarterly meetings or oftentimes even monthly meetings. And I found that nothing got done. How important is it for you to have a weekly meeting?
I think it's very important as a business owner to have that weekly accountability to make sure you're staying on schedule. Because as a business owner, you wear so many hats. It makes it difficult to get the important things done that you need to get done, but that you want to put on the back burner. But when you have somebody to be accountable to, and it's a weekly thing, and they're steadily putting in your ear, like, you got to get these things done. Get the reviews. Get the video testimonials. It just makes it to where you have an assignment and they just get it done.
Now, at the business conferences, we walk people through the entire system. This is the system we teach from. This is from my newest book called A Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich, which everyone can download for free right now at thrivetimeshow.com/millionaire. You and I, we track the numbers every week. So box number 1, we establish those revenue goals. We do that. We know the break-even numbers. We know how many hours you're willing to work. This is crazy. You're married. Your wife loves you. You love your wife. I'm not ever advocating during our coaching meetings like, forsake your family and grow your company. Can you talk about that, how important it is to work with maybe a coach that understands that you want to have a healthy family and a healthy company?
Oh, I think it's very important. Like yesterday, I had a good dinner with my wife, and we had a good evening with live music and really enjoyed each other's company. I took my kids camping twice this month already for 4 days, and we're enjoying the summer. But I think it's very important that as a business owner, as you put the hours in, put the hard work in, but you also take the time to spend with friends and family. I mean, it's important. Rising up early to get my meditation time is very important to me too. So I think just, again, having somebody that knows the value of these things is important.
Now, as we go through, I mean, you are knocking it out with the marketing and the branding and all the things we have to do to optimize your website and make the ads work. We've determined your unique value proposition. We've improved the branding. We have a 3-legged marketing stool. We know how to generate leads online and offline and referrals. The sales process, and I'm not picking on you, but I mean this, you're like a super humble guy. So I feel like that the sales process was something that once you learned the proven process, you kind of took to it right away. But I think a lot of contractors don't want to come across as too aggressive or too passive or too whatever. And I feel like the sales process of your team really doing a good job of calling all the leads, and the calls are recorded for quality assurance. I feel like that's been a big needle mover for you. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd love to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I had my own way before I joined your team. I had my own way of sales, and what I thought was working really wasn't working. And at first I put up a wall, but once I was opened up to the why you do it the certain ways you do it, it really opened up more ways to be more successful. With the call scripts, with the recorded calls, we're still tweaking scripts and things like that, but it's like an ongoing process. But it's been great, and I think that it has helped us a lot. We call our leads back right away, within hours, a few hours, most of the time, and it's just important. And we've gotten a lot of leads, and where I needed to hire my first sales employee.
And now we're working on more of the systems, creating these repeatable systems and managing a larger group of people in that daily huddle. Can you talk? I hammer all my clients that it's so important to have a daily huddle with your team, to huddle with your team every morning and to have a weekly staff meeting. Could you talk about the importance of implementing these human resource strategies for managing people and what impact that's had for your company?
Yeah, so the impact of daily huddles have for my company is that it brought the team together. All of our employees, which is 17 of us full time, it's brought us all together to where we're getting to see each other in the mornings and grow together. We start off with some wins, keep it brief. We go over company updates. Then we go over all our projects and we ask her how's that client doing? Is the project on schedule? But what it did, it helped us a lot with the daily interruptions with, hey, so what's going on here? And these questions that could be answered in the morning. So they learn to answer these important questions in the morning so that there's less interruption throughout the day.
Now, the final two areas I wanted to cover here is, there's so much to growing a company, and that's what we talk about on our weekly coaching calls. But building a sustainable and repetitive weekly schedule, like every week we're doing the group interview. Every week we're gathering objective reviews from clients. Every week we're gathering before and after images. Every week you're gathering testimonials from your happy clients. You have to do this stuff every week. It's like a garden. You got to pull the weeds every week. Could you talk about the importance of having these human resource systems in place where you do these systems every week so it's proactive as opposed to reactive, doing these same things over and over?
Yeah, I think it's important to do it every week and repeat them so that things don't fall through the cracks. And if you get too relaxed on not doing it, or you go 2 or 3 weeks without listening to recorded calls or whatever it may be, you start to slack off a little bit. The next thing you know, you're in trouble. And now you're putting out another fire that wouldn't have been there if you would have been on track and keeping up with the systems and processes. So just doing it repeatedly helps with building that system. Everybody knows it's this day at this time. Our morning huddles are every day from 7:07, last 15 minutes. And everybody knows to be there. And it's just been great.
Now, final two questions for you. People out there that maybe want to do business with you, they're hearing about you. Again, it's very hard to gather objective Google reviews if people don't like you. It's very hard to gather video testimonials if people don't like the work you do. What's your website, and how do people, go ahead and get a hold of you if they're looking to hire you guys for maybe a big project?
Yeah, so our website is moralesbrothers.net. And you can definitely just fill out our get in touch form to reach out to us. And I personally will actually be in touch with you and have a conversation with you.
And for anybody out there that's contemplating coming to one of our workshops or scheduling a free 13-point assessment, what word of encouragement or what advice would you have for anybody out there?
Well, I would say don't wait any longer. Jump in, because if I would have jumped in 7 years ago, I would have been in a whole different place today. So
I guarantee you would be. I'll say this though, and I'm not prophetic. I'm saying you're on pace. You're on pace to have a business that's going to be about 5 times larger than what it was when I first met you. And I say that because the first thing you see is the leads coming in, and you start to see new teammates joining your team, and you're building that foundation for success. And I totally see you guys going to a great place right now. So I wish I would have met you earlier. That's my only complaint. But that's Ronnie Morales. Ronnie, I really appreciate you. I'll give you the final word. What do you want to say to everybody out there that's maybe contemplating taking their business to the next level?
Like I said, guys, don't wait any longer. Reach out to Clay and the team, do your assessment, and be a diligent doer.
Amen to that. Ronnie Morales, take care, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has. by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and our ranking there with Google.
And also, we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. They implemented those systems. They taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline, but that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. 1 month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy. Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal, and they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right. And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. As you can see, it's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that You guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show, 2-day interactive business workshops, are the highest and most reviewed business workshops on the planet.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.